Okay, we're not quite gone yet. Let's go now to Parliament. Nompumelelo Siziba is standing by for us. Nompumelelo, what is the latest? What can you tell us?
Thanks very much. Of course, we are here in the parliamentary precinct and we're looking forward to that 2 o'clock budget speech by Finance Minister Tito Mboweni. Of course, one of the big issues is Eskom, which is a huge fiscal threat. They currently carry a debt of about 450 billion rand. And the big question is, how are they going to handle that debt situation? COSATU came up with an idea of relieving them of about some 250 billion rand, and that would be through the instrument of the PIC and the government employee pension funds and so on. But that doesn't seem to have got much traction. They were hoping that would be announced at the State of the Nation address by President Cyril Ramaphosa. But as much as he sort of welcomed the idea of Labour coming to the party with solutions, it doesn't seem as though that really is going to work. And the private sector has poo-pooed it, said it's not going to work, and it could actually threaten government employee pensions. But anyway, just to discuss the Eskom story further, and of course the constant load shedding, which is impacting on our economic growth story, I'm joined by Andrew Kenny. He's an independent energy analyst. Thank you very much for joining us, Andrew. Super. So we've got a huge problem with Eskom, that 450 billion rand debt. Do you think that there's going to be any addressing of that issue by the finance minister? And what do you think he can say?
Well, that will have to be, because it's one of our greatest problems. The absolute mess Eskom's in. It's been ruined by corruption and inefficiency and bad planning and bad ideology. That 450 billion, it just hangs over the whole of South Africa, over the economy, everything. The thing is, there's only two ways it can be paid off, only two ways. Either through electricity sales, in which case the tariff will have to go up, must go up, or else the taxpayer is going to hand over a whole of our money, the people's money, to Eskom. That's the only two ways it can be paid off, nothing else. The COSATU plan that you can take pensions and they can pay off the debt, I think what that means is the pension funds buy Eskom bonds. Well, that's not such a bad idea, because Eskom bonds are very safe. We know that they're going to, I mean, there is really sovereign debt, Eskom debt, because the government, if it doesn't say so, it actually will underwrite it. So that's a reasonable, but that's kicking the can down the road. The Eskom must get more revenue to pay off the debt, or the taxpayer must pay. The taxpayer is a very bad idea. Eskom must do it. Eskom must get more efficient, must cut out at catastrophically high costs. The labour costs are too high. It's paying far more for coal than it should do. It wasn't in the past. It's massively inefficient. It must improve maintenance so the power stations stop failing all the time. These are things that must be done, simple, obvious things, but they must be done.
But how hopeful are you about, the cost burden at Eskom? We know that the World Bank, for example, says that Eskom is overcapacitated staff-wise to the tune of about 66%. And yet, even the CEO, the new CEO of Eskom, Andre de Ruyter, has said that there will be no forced retrenchments. That's also government's position. And, the problems just continue going on and on. So where are we going to get the resolution then?
Well, that's the huge problem. It's political. Some years ago, Provident Gordon, when he was head of private enterprises, he suggested a pay freeze for Eskom, which is a completely sensible thing. Somebody else recommended a pay freeze. Eskom did. And he immediately overruled it. So politics got in the way again. A pay freeze for Eskom is a very good idea. Eskom, as you say, is hopelessly overmanned, mainly with a lot of useless managers earning huge salaries for doing nothing. They must be got rid of, but you can't get rid of them because of the politics. So these are the big problems. Coal procurement's the same thing. We're now buying very bad coal from small BEE coal producers all over the country, which is wrecking the environment of Mpumalanga. Coal should be delivered by conveyor belt. Now it's being delivered by road truck, and it's ruining the environment. The roads are being ruined, the environment's being ruined. So we must stop that and go back to dedicated mines supplying by coal, but that's too political for them. They probably won't be able to do that either. So it's very scary, it's very frightening.
Thanks very much, Andrew. We're going to leave it there. Very difficult situation indeed. Eskom is bloated with staff, and of course government policy is that there will be no forced retrenchments. We know that there's been talk about trying to renegotiate those coal contracts to lower levels, and of course the mining sector is not happy with that because they feel that actually they need to adhere to the contracts that have been signed and agreed to. But it's going to be interesting, of course, to hear what the finance minister has to say. Something's got to give. Where will it give? Only time will tell. Back to you in studio.
And that will be at 2 p.m. this afternoon. I think the whole nation is looking forward to that anticipated, having also been said to be the toughest budget in the 25 years of South Africa's democracy. Till next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.